In this session, we will understand the use of tool step, menu step, and status step controls in Windows applications. Tool step control is used to create toolbars, status bars, and menus in the application. It is a container class which has collection object for tool step items. Tool step item is an element on the tool step which represents controls like buttons, combo box, text box, labels, etc. We can set images in the tool step button using image property. Now menu step and status step controls are derived from tool step class. Let us understand more about tool step control in Windows Forms Designer. In the designer, we drag and drop the tool step control on the form. We can add various controls on the tool step shown here. Buttons are most commonly used tool step items. Let's add few buttons to the tool step control. We can modify the properties of these button controls and add event handlers. We can change the image using setImage method, then import the image. In the script file, toolstep object and toolstep button objects are defined in the initialize component function and their properties are set. We can see that a resource manager object is defined to access embedded images for the toolstep button. We can either import the images for these buttons into the application via embedded resource property or directly use the image class method to load images at runtime. Now when we run the application, the form is not shown. It is because during debugging, IronPython exe loads the form, and in that case, the getEntryAssembly function returns a reference to the IronPython exe, which does not have image resource. Hence the application cannot run. To overcome this issue, we have to run the application from the debug folder after compiling the exe. Now another way to avoid this issue is to add toolstep button object at runtime during startup. Here we define add toolstep button function having name and image as arguments. Now from prepare toolstep function, we load the image using image.fromFile method and pass it to the add toolstep button function. So using this method, we will not be using the resource manager to load images. Instead, we will load images at runtime. To use this method, now we delete the buttons from the toolstep and call prepare toolstep function. And when we run the application, the form loads and runs smoothly. Menu step control in Windows Forms is used to add menu bar to the program window. It can contain either menu steps or other controls like combo box or text box control. Let's see how to design the menu in Windows Forms Designer. Here we drag the menu step control onto the form. We see that when we click the menu step control, we can add top level menu items and create menus. Menu step has item collection property where we can add menu items to the menu step using the editor. We can set properties of the menu steps in the properties window. Now we create a basic menu system by adding menu items. We can also add submenus to the menu items. We can modify properties of the menu items object in the properties window and add events like click event. In the script file, we see that menu strip control object is defined and all the menu strip items which we have created in the menu strip are defined here and their properties are set. The menu strip control is added to the form's control collection object. Now we run the form and see how our menu is working. Status strip control is used on forms as an area displayed at the bottom of a window, in which an application can display various kinds of status information. Tool strip status labels form panels on the status strip where the information is displayed. Controls like progress bar can use to display status of lengthy operations. Let us see status strip control in more details. Now we drag and drop status strip control onto the form. Here we have options to add tool strip status labels and other controls to the status strip. Tool strip status labels can display messages from the application about some operations or events. Here we add a tool strip status label and update its label when we move the mouse on the new tool strip menu item in the menu strip. In the script file, we add the mouse enter and leave event handler of the new tool strip menu item object and set the text property of the tool strip status label object. Now when we run the form, we see that when mouse moves on the menu item, the text in the status strip label changes. So this way we can use status strip to display application messages.